My name is Aaron, and I grew up in the world of metal. In fact, it's the only thing I ever really cared about in terms of music. But you know what, recently, I've wanted something a little bit different. Well, welcome back everybody. Now, I need to do some preface before I start this particular video. This is one song that I did not actually ever react to, but I had heard it previously before doing this channel. So, I want to take you into the brain of where I was in about a year or two ago. I don't know if actually that time reference will actually make sense. When I first heard this song, I was working for the mortgage industry, and I remember at one time we decided to go out and get some lunch somewhere. And a bunch of us were like, oh, let's just go get McDonald's. And I remember when we pulled up, they had a BTS meal. And this is just, completely 100% stupidity. I understand. And this is just kind of how my brain was working back then. And so when we got there, I remember we were looking at them, like the combos and stuff like that. And there was a BTS meal. And I was just like, BTS? Like, isn't that some sort of K-pop group? And a friend of mine was like, yeah, I think so. They're pretty big, though. And I was like, well, I guess they got to be pretty big if they're doing a collab with McDonald's. And then, I remember hearing something talking about how, McDonald's had messed up, a lot of the orders or, something like that. I remember there was, some sort of, weird scandal with it. And that, some places weren't getting the same thing as, other places. And, other people had been getting, special unique cards that only came inside of the BTS meal, where some of them were just it's just chicken nuggets and fries, and then they just slapped on a BTS label on the front. So I remember being really confused, and I didn't know how to feel about it, but I was just kind of that's kind of stupid. Why would anybody do that? And at the time there was tons of other meals. I remember there was a Travis Scott meal, there was one other person I don't even remember, and then this came out and I was just oh goodness, this is all just so stupid. This is my personal and honest opinions from back then. And then at the time after that, I remember it being in every single commercial. It was there for a Google commercial, it was there for a Samsung commercial, it was there for a Microsoft commercial. I don't even remember, but it just felt like it was in every single commercial everywhere, and I was just what is this? This sounds so silly, smooth like butter getting under covers. What is this? And at the time, I just thought that this is, again, like I said, different time, a different period. I thought to myself, this is absolutely just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why would anyone sing about butter, or being as smooth as butter? Is this just some sort of cash grab kind of feel to it? That's how I thought, that's how I felt, that's what it kind of looked like, because it was everywhere. And I heard it so much that I was like, God, I kind of just hate this song. The song is kind of dumb. So I actually have to admit I'm a little nervous, because I'm trying to I'm just hoping, and I trust in BTS enough to know that this is actually a good song. I think we've been through enough stuff now that y'all know that I think that, but there is this feeling of just, oh my goodness, am I still gonna feel like this is just kind of a silly song? Is this not gonna be to my taste? How is it gonna be? But again, this is just my own personal thoughts before we start. So let's check it out. This is the first time I've heard it ever incomplete, without a commercial or some sort of ad on top of it. So let's check it out. Let's give this a fair shot.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. Don't pop like trouble, breaking into your heart like that. Cool shade stunner, yeah, owe it all to my mother. Hot like summer, yeah, I'm making you sweat like that. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm not too hard to do. I got the superstar glow, so ooh, do the booty. A side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, 'cause bad. Ain't no other that could sweep you up like a rubber. Straight up, I gotcha, making you fall like that. Break it down. When I look in the mirror, I met your heart into two. I got this superstar glow, so ooh. To the boogie line. Side step right, left to my beat. I like the move right with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, 'cause talk is cheap. A side step right, left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll. Ice on my wrist, I'm the nice guy. Got the right body and the right mind. Rolling up the party, got the right vibes. Move like haters. Fresh boy, pull up and we lay low. All the bands get moving when the bass low. Got army right behind us when we say so. Let's go. Side step right, left to my beat. Right up to my beat. I like the move right with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right, left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Cool light, cool shade, and you know we don't stop. How like, ain't no, you be like, oh my god. We gon' make it rock in his head. We gon' make it bounce in his head. Hotter, sweeter, cooler, butter. Get it, let it roll.
Okay, whoa. There was a lot that I missed in that song. that was from my previous experiences. Yeah, can we just go back really quick right here? I just need to.
Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll.
Oh, that escalation right there is really cool. The next thing I want to say right here is that there almost seems to be like a Daft Punk kind of feel to the song more than I realized. It's like if Daft Punk and BTS made a sound together. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think this is just BTS, but it feels like there's some Daft Punk like elements in there. Like
Get it, let it roll.
this right here. This right here sounds a little Daft Punky to me.
Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll.
This is just also another silly thing for me to say, but I actually really like him more with longer hair. I think it looks nice on him. This right here. This
Don't need no usher to remind me you got it bad.
I kind of want to say that might have actually been a reference to Usher's song "Yeah." I mean, probably not, but the first thing I thought was like, oh, that kind of seems like they're talking about this song "Yeah, Yeah,"
Don't need no usher.
because it's even capitalized like Usher. So I wonder that. If not, I mean, that's fine. But aside from this, the one thing I also have to say that I really, really appreciate is the bass on.
To remind
The bass on the song. Ugh.
me you got it bad. Ain't no other that could sweep you up like a rubber. Straight up, I gotcha, making you fall like that.
So I think that's just really nice because I like a good crunchy bass from time to time. A lot of times I think we just kind of rely on just like bass frequency rather than bass notes. And I appreciate that. So, yeah. How do I feel about the song from now compared to what I told you in the beginning? I will say it is not my favorite BTS song. I think that's fair to say. However, do I think it's as bad or as weird as I thought back in, like a couple years ago? No, I think this is a lot better than I remember. And actually, I think that this song has actually got a lot of catchiness. It's like got really like ultra pop feel to it, but also like a lot of disco feel to it. But then there's like 90s like Daft Punk inside of it. I really thought that this was actually a really well crafted song. And I don't feel like this is one of those songs that I'm like, oh yes, well this is written and this chord and progression, and you could tell it. This is one of those songs that it's like it's fun to put on. I appreciate this song though. Like this is actually a lot better than I remember. So yeah, I think there's a lot that they cut out from, like, obviously for like using commercials and stuff like that. So I think that that's pretty cool. I actually really like the rap line in this as well. And I think that just a lot of it is really well constructed. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about Butter. This is actually legitimately the very first time that I've heard it through, but also at the same time, like, trying to go in with as an open mind as possible. And obviously my thoughts previously were quite dumb. And it's just, again, the ignorance part of things for sure. And obviously now kind of coming as far as I have, I do think that there is a lot to be said for their musicianship. And so I think that's that's really good. So now I am here at the very end. This has been an incredible showing of support for me. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. I hope that you know that. I appreciate all the comments, even though I haven't been able to respond to them all. Y'all just keep surprising me over and over. Y'all just keep defying my expectations. Y'all are just seriously some of the coolest people that I think I've ever met. I think now I have to kind of talk about what I think about BTS before and after the whole group. And that is, well, when I first started off, I just kind of thought that they were going to be just another cookie cutter group. That was my first thought going in. I wanted to try and give them a chance. I was hoping that they would prove me wrong, because they are an absolute phenomenon. They might actually be one of the biggest groups here in where I live, but sadly enough, they'll probably still never come this way. Anyway, now that I've gotten done though, I think they just didn't just defy expectations. I think they kind of made me rethink about a whole lot of things, and honestly, that's true. They made me not just rethink about a lot of the music that they put out and actually other artists have put out, because of the way that they write their music. It has actually not even affected just my thoughts on their music. It's actually made me think about almost everybody else's music. Second off, too, I think obviously I cannot go out without saying that I think these, and I said this a long time ago too, but I still think it bears repeating, that I still think that to this day, I think it's totally fair for me to say, this might be a bold claim, but I still think that this is the Beatles of this generation. And with everything that they've had to go through, with all the problems that they ever had, you know that they're going in the right direction, because obviously if it's such an uphill battle, there's a reason why there was so much struggle, and I think it's because they were meant to do this, and they were meant to defy those odds. So absolutely just think that they are truly generational talent that we might not see for hundreds of years after them. The second thing that, or third thing at this point, I don't know, the next thing that I want to talk about is just the amount of love and support that was brought out to me. Again, I was not expecting this. I'm going to be as transparent as possible. Usually when I do these kind of like week or, special event things, I usually call it 1 week club. And usually I see a small bump, usually maybe like 100, 150 subscribers. I'm being completely honest right here, so I'm even going to kind of delve into this. And I'm at the time I thought like, wow, it's really cool. These videos are getting like 300 to 400 to 600 views. I can't believe how this is starting to kind of catch on, and I love this and stuff like that. And then the army came in, and if you remember my blubbering mess, that was not planned during the guide, is that I am actually even more happy to announce that you have continually crushed every single expectations that in every single way from being just amazing, honest people to being just amazing, cool, accepting people that genuinely want to help me find the way to listen to this group properly, because that's like always my number one thing is I want to make sure that whoever it is, that the group is listened to properly, and I don't think anybody has done it as well as Army has. And I think the next thing that I kind of just also want to say is that I'm also really glad for a lot of the tolerances. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've been doing this for, a couple weeks now, and I just absolutely just appreciate all of your opinions and thoughts. And, I'm still just blown away by everything that y'all have done for me. And I promise I'm not going to try and cry this time, but I just absolutely love it. Like, I remember when I made the video to the guide, and at the time I think there was 2 videos that had gotten close to like 8 to 10,000 views, and at that time that was my at the time my most viewed video was just closing in at 9,000. Now almost every single, not all of them, but I would say about 80% of the videos that have been recorded have surpassed my number one video that I had before this. And it just goes to show me how awesome all of you are. And again, I don't generally care for stats, but I think that I want to let you know like how crazy this is for me, because the fact of the matter is that you just all have come in and just absolutely shown me what Army can do. And I always want to say the Army. Is that fair to say? And, I just have grown to appreciate the group. I've grown to appreciate every single one of you. And it's always hard to end these, because I feel like that it's almost like a whole era ends, and that feels even more so now. So I know that things are going to change after this, now that this is done. I know that a lot of this will probably kind of just go away, and I always leave the playlist up to make sure that if you ever want to go back through and just kind of re-experience this with me, you can. If you don't, I also understand as well. So going back through from, returning back to normal, I guess, in a sense, because this is very much abnormal, near paranormal. So we're going to be going back to the schedule. I'm going to take Monday off because I am very tired. I usually don't do anything on Mondays anyway, but just so you know that this Monday there won't be any videos. We start with boy bands on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Girl groups are usually Wednesday and Friday. However, with Founder Friday now being a thing, there will be some changes to that as well. So I might be doing double up on Tuesday to make up for that, so that we can keep things as equal as possible. Founder Fridays, we're going to be cycling through. I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. So if you want to come in and continue down the journeys for like Super Junior and 2NE1 or Girls' Generation, SNSD, any of those groups, you're always welcome. And of course, if you are just here for just BTS Saturdays are still here. They're going to be here for the foreseeable future. I don't see that changing at all. And again, this is running a little bit long, but I just want to say thank you, and I hope that each of you are able to feel my appreciation towards you, because this has just been an absolutely mad lad just kind of moment for me. I still am in disbelief to wake up and just see what all of you have done and continue to do. So thank you again, and I love each and every one of you. I think you're all just incredible people. So on top of that, I do want to say, because of that, I do have a bit of a tribute coming out as soon as I can get the material for it, to give you a tribute to Army and BTS for this special occasion. So I hope that you're there for that as well. Anyway, we'll see you all probably Saturday. But if you come join along, I'm more than happy to. We'll see you all later. Thank you again. This has been BTS Summer Activities, and this has been one hell of a ride.